All right, the X-Fan Show here with the A-Train and Spurge. Here we want to welcome our special guest today, the commissioner of the revived Continental Football League, which jumps off next summer. It's Mr. Mike Kelly. Thank you for joining us today, Mike.
Man, I'm really happy to be with you guys. You got this thing going now, and let's
Well, hold on now, Mr. Kelly. I wouldn't say we have this whole thing going. I would just say that we're two fans that love talking football and love talking sports. So I wouldn't just say we have it all going.
That's a good thing. Who doesn't like talking about sports? It's a great outlet for our society. That's for sure.
That it is, especially.
Go ahead, Spurge. I know you got something that you want to jump off, because if not, I'm jumping off of mine. Easy.
No, go, brother, go, because you're the more professional one. I'm the unprofessional. You're the professional one, so you go first, buddy.
Before we do all of that, let's get to know Mike Kelly a little bit. Mike Kelly, when I say he has jobs everywhere in football, jobs everywhere. It doesn't matter, high school, college, professional. They have him listed, folks, on Wikipedia as a gridiron football coach. So you name it, he's been there. And so a little bit, Mike, tell us a bit about what was like the biggest challenges of all your gigs, like working in high school to working in college to being at the professional level. What was the challenges that you had faced when you got to those levels?
There's challenges in everything we do in life, and I would just take each challenge one at a time. That old saying about you can't eat an elephant in one bite; it's got to be in multiple bites. I get a high school coaching job. It's in a real rural area. It was in the biggest popcorn producing county in the country, right in the middle of Ohio. And I'd be up in the press box on Friday nights, and it was like Field of Dreams. You could see the cars driving through the corn coming to the stadium. And, so you had challenges there where you had a really limited roster. There was only 425 kids in the whole high school. And
wow.
Yeah, you had to learn how to to evaluate talent early, see what the kids can do, and then be able to practice with them so they understood. You didn't overload them, but also you had to protect their bodies, and you just wear them out. And so that was a really good first lesson for me, because I've ended up working with really limited rosters. When I first went to the Canadian Football League in 1992, we only dressed 36 players for a game. That was a new concept for me, because I had been in college football for a decade prior to that, where we were always pushing to come to camp with 100 and 125 kids. So again, I had to draw back on old experiences. And then I was just really fortunate to create relationships. And look, that's life right there, creating relationships. And I was able to meet people that saw different qualities in me, and then present opportunities. The best jobs I've ever gotten, I never applied for them. The people called me and said, "Hey, come on here and help us out." And I spent lots of years. I got files and files of stuff that I've sent out. Resumes, all these nice letters, and all that. Nobody ever answered that stuff. It was all on connections, and I think that's what a lot of young people, they got to work at that. You got to go out and you got to meet people. You got to shake their hands. You got to have conversations with them, and don't just think just because you threw something out there on the internet that's going to make something happen for you in terms of the coaching world. Because I see a lot of this stuff, boy. They come across the internet about quarterback play, and I'm like, oh my God, these guys are actually putting this out here, and they think this is what it's supposed to be about, and it's so diametrically wrong of everything that I've ever taught. But they're out there, and they got all these fans following them and everything. So I'm kind of getting off track here. But I think my whole experience has just been so eclectic. All right, I've coached in the Pro Bowl. I've been on the field in Hawaii with the best football players in the world standing on that field. And I've coached at a high school with 425 kids in it, where those kids didn't even know how to put their pads on. They were putting their girdle pad on backwards. They had the tail pad in the front to make sure everything was safe. No, man, that goes in the back. Just put that thing around. So I've seen it at every level. I've worked in. I was actually the first director of the Canadian Football League's draft evaluation camp. We held it in a golf dome in Winnipeg. Those guys were working out on it. Yeah, it was like the surface we were on. Remember the old putt courses where basically with green felt? That's what these guys were working out on. So I've seen this evolve into a whole different world, and it's been a fun ride for me, and I'm glad I just got to be a part of some of the things that I've done.
Now, Mr. Kelly, is it all right if I call you Mike, or do I have to call you Commissioner Kelly? I like Commissioner Kelly.
I really prefer your Royal Highness, but I'll go with Mike.
Okay, your Royal Highness Commissioner. You talk about the Canadian Football League. Explain to people here in America who has never watched the Canadian Football League, because I watched it and I find it very interesting. You got guys like Michael Lathrop and Mike Mitchell and those guys, Anthony Miller, who have really promoted, and Reed Johnson, who have promoted the Canadian Football League. Kind of explain to people from when you got into the Canadian Football League, like what makes that so much different than American-style football?
Well, I've worked in the CFL. I've worked in the NFL. I have an NFL pension, but the CFL is absolutely near and dear to my heart. And I defended the CFL to NFL people quite often, and it probably was to some detriment. But, I worked in that league my first go around in it. We had Doug Flutie. We had Rocket Ishmael. There were real players up there, and it's a much faster game. It's a more fun game. You've got the element of a wider and longer field. You've got a 12th man. You have unlimited motion. You can score in so many different ways. I'm a big fan of the Rouge. We beat Calgary with Doug Flutie at quarterback in the regular season in '92, I think it was. It was late in the season. It was really cold and the wind was blowing in Winnipeg. And we got the ball. The score was tied at 16, which is really low scoring because we used to average about 20 or 37 points a game up there. So it was a really low scoring, tough day to play any kind of game. You threw a ball in the air, it was coming back at you. You might as well have had a boot. And so we line up, we drive the ball down, time's running out. We didn't even try, because if you return the ball out of the end zone on a missed field goal or a punt, you don't get the point. But if the ball stays in the end zone or goes through the end zone, you get a point. So we drove down. The wind was blowing right in our face. They had 3 guys in the end zone to receive the missed field goal to take it out, to keep the game tied and going to overtime. We didn't even try to kick it through the upright. We kicked it through the corner of the end zone and went out, and we won 17-16. And people say, well, that's that you can't, that's dumb. You can't do that. Why not? You're rewarding the offense for driving all the way down there. And then, in U.S. football, the kicker strolls out there. He hadn't been doing nothing but looking up in the stands and look at his people the whole game, over there riding a bike for a little bit, talking about how great his soccer career was. And then he runs out there and he misses the kick and everybody gets mad at him. Well, the offense you just took away everything that offense did to get yourself in that position. So reward them. And so I think that's a huge component of that game that makes it that much more exciting. There's quite a few more rule changes other than that, but I just think it's a faster pace game. I always got a kick out of some of these college coaches talking about, oh, we run so many plays, we're so fast. All right, try it sometime. You take that 25 seconds and you move it down to 20 seconds. Let's see how your process goes then. Let's see how you are then. Okay, and so I just think it's a better game. I truly believe that. I'll always believe that. Nobody will ever
love it.
And if people are not watching the CFL game, then they're missing out on really something pretty fun.
Well, and you guys might have had one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game of football in a man named Warren Moon.
Yep.
That came into your league.
Yeah. Well, the CFL has always been a bastion for players that didn't fit the mold of the NFL. Okay. And the CFL was doing far more things structurally than the NFL early. We were running what everybody wants to call RPOs now. We didn't have a name for it because we didn't think we had to have it. We just read, why hand the ball off to a guy that you already see is going to get smashed? Pull it out. And so I'll tell you a story. I'm in the NFL. And I won't say the team or anything because I don't want to get anybody's, all upset. But I'm in the NFL, and we're running an inside zone play, and the quarterback is supposed to be booting, and the backside defensive end is coming down and crashing, just scraping right down and making that play time after time after time. And I said to the offensive coordinator, call the run play, but if the quarterback keeps seeing that end is crashing and not honoring him as he boots, tell him to just pull the ball and then come back out around, and then we'd have the receivers on the backside run whip routes. They look like they were going to the cutoff, and then they'd snap back out, and then the quarterback would come out, boom, throw him the ball, and off you went. He said, no, wait a minute, hold up. You're telling me we're going to call a run play, but we're going to end up throwing it? I said, yeah. Oh, we can't do that. You can't do that. That was 2002. They told me that. And I just went, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'd already coordinated an offense in my life that we threw for 713 yards in one game in the CFL. So I think I knew a little bit about football. And I was told, no, you can't do that. So, and I can give you examples
just a little
where I would make suggestions to NFL people, and they just would not listen to it. And a lot of it had to do with I didn't have a Super Bowl ring. I was the CFL guy. So what could I possibly know? And it was frustrating for me, to be honest. It was really frustrating. But there's take a look at Kurt Warner's X account. Okay, he does an awesome job about talking about how the game is taught now. And I've interviewed with NFL coordinators, and where they'd say, okay, draw up something, and just go ahead and explain it to us. So as I would draw up something, I'd say, okay, now here we got each side here. Here's how it incorporates. If there's the middle of the field's covered, this is where the quarterback looks. If the middle field's open, this is where he looks, and this is his read. So your read might change from ABC to CAB, and they would like, no, you can't do that. It's got to be 1, 2 down. So you're going to look at your first receiver that you know is covered in. Why? It's just. And so I gave a talk in Winnipeg a couple of weeks ago. I was up there, and I talked about where we've lost football is we don't teach the why anymore. We only teach the how. And so these kids don't understand, what is actually unfolding in front of them. They just run what they're told to run, and that's it. But they don't really understand the game. And, I'm hoping that I can get that kind of influence on what we're doing in the Continental Football League, is to get these coaches to understand, let's teach these kids the game so that they become better players. They show more awareness on the field, so that then the NFL, the CFL, the UFL, if they survive, has a real look at a player that understands the game and goes into camp and has an absolute chance. And that's what we're looking for, is to get kids the opportunity that otherwise they wouldn't have had, because there's a lot of kids that just don't know how to get seen. This gives them that opportunity now, and we're gonna make sure that they're getting that the higher level teams get good film on guys, so they can see that they're not only good athletes, but they also understand what they're doing in the schematics of the game. I think that's an important component.
I think you've hit the nail on the head where I wanted to go next. As a matter of fact, folks, this is what we're discussing right now, is the Continental Football League, and it is making its return. in summer of 2026, as we're talking with Continental Football League Commissioner Mike Kelly right now on the X-Fan Show. The one thing I wanted to discuss, and you just kind of said a little bit of it, is the how, not the why, but how. How are we going to get football in the summertime? That has been my biggest thing. I've watched these leagues in the past. Yeah. Those that have said they want to do football in the summertime. Why is the best time to have football in the summertime? Professional football at that.
Well, first of all, we're going into different markets. Okay, I want people to think of that homegrown grassroots feel of AA minor league baseball. Okay, when I was a little kid in Connecticut, my dad would take us to the Waterbury Orbits in Waterbury, Connecticut. They were basically a taxi squad for the New York Jets, same uniforms, everything, and I loved it. And these other leagues, they all go up there, and they're look, the NFL and the CFL are cockroaches. They don't die. Those two leagues have been around. Okay, I think the CFL. I coached in the Grey Cup game, which is the CFL Super Bowl, in the 80th and 82nd or 80th and 81st Grey Cups. That was in 1992. They've been doing this for over 100 years, and the NFL is coming up on 60 years for the Super Bowl, and they were alive way before that. And these leagues keep coming in, and they keep trying to imitate them. That we're not doing that. This is minor league. Develop, make it a night where the family can go out, have a dollar hot dog night. Actually get to be close to the fans, be in a nice confined stadium rather than these big sterile things. I love watching the UFL, and they're in a stadium and there's 4,500 people, and the stadium holds 70,000. Those optics are horrendous. All right, and so let's get into a local stadium, and give us that comfort, that hey, this is our team, and that's part of what we're doing here. You look at the Green Bay Packers, you look at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the Edmonton Eskimos. Oh, sorry, I just got it politically incorrect. The Elks. They're community owned. And there's going to be a component in our league where the fans can have a part ownership in their home team. We want this to be a rah-rah, our city is better than your city kind of thing, and create that kind of competition where the family goes out, they have a nice night out. We're going to have some rule changes to make the game go a little bit faster, so you're not out there for 3 hours or whatever, but take your family out, have some fun, say, hey, I'm part owner of this, and we're going to have community outreach that we can hear what the fans want and make those adjustments so that they're going to something that they really feel like they're comfortable with, and it's theirs. That's the whole point to this, is make it theirs and be in communities that otherwise they have no chance of going to an NFL or a CFL or a UFL game. They have no chance of, who goes to a Super Bowl anymore? You can't afford to go to a Super Bowl. None of us three can go to the Super Bowl. You got to be a corporate entity to do that. And that's not football to me. Football is, playing with my brother in the backyard, just him and I, one-on-one with our little uniforms from Sears that had the plastic helmets, and just lining up one over the ball and just ram into each other. And that's what we want to get back to, is that, that you are a part of the community, is part of this. You're involved with us. We're doing what you want to do, and we want you to come out and have a good time. That's really what it comes down to.
I see, Your Great Holiness, Commissioner. Your Royal Highness. Your Royal Highness. I apologize, Your Royal Highness. Forgive me. That's funny that you say community owned. Me and Arlington started this show all the way back in 2018 because we knew that nobody in the St. Louis area would cover the Battlehawks from a fan's perspective. They would do it more as journalistic and all of that stuff, which is fine. There's people who do that, but we focused it more fan-centric. Let the fans have their voice. Right. I like how you said the big, and I wrote it down right here. Wrote it down right there. Grassroots movement.
Yes.
Why is that? Explain to people why the grassroots movement is so important, because that's the one thing me and Arlington has always preached with these leagues, is that it's grassroots movement. Explain in you as a professional why you think the grassroots movement is so important.
Well, again, we go back to a sense of community and giving people opportunities that they otherwise would not have. Whether you're a player, whether you're a fan, this gives them opportunities that otherwise they'd be removed from. If I'm let's just say I'm in some small isolated town that it takes me 2 hours to even drive to an NFL or a CFL city. That's an all-day deal. That's a lot of expense. We want to make these small towns feel like they have something of their own, but not just to come in there and have a team and you go to the stadium and you sit there and go, oh, that was nice. We want you to feel like, hey, you know what? I'm part of this. They're doing something that was my suggestion, or I got involved. In the ownership of this. I'm invested in this. This is my team. And that's what we want. I think, look, by the time I got out of high school, I'd gone to 9 different schools in 5 different states. I got into coaching. I've now lived in 11 states and 2 provinces in Canada. And I just know, having lived in big cities, in small towns, that the small town feels like that's another world that they're looking at when they turn on the television. They don't have to turn on the television now. Come walk right down to your local stadium, see local heroes, because we're going to have regional rights to teams, and they can say, man, I remember that kid in high school, or that kid lives down the street, or he played at that university that's closer to us, and they can identify with them and have real local heroes while they're invested in the whole thing. This is not going to be some sterile corporate deal. This is going to be, you're a part of it. Everybody is watching this. You can be a part of this.
See, I love that you said that. I know Arlington's going to get mad at me because I know he wants to say something. I just know his faces. He's wanting to say something. But I love the other thing you said was playing in these smaller venues. Like, I had traveled to a bunch of the UFL games. And one of my most favorite places that I went to was Cashman Field in Vegas when the Vipers played.
Yeah.
Is that the way? Is that kind of like what you're going to look at? Is stadiums like that, or like what kind of stadiums are you looking at for the Continental Football League to be playing in?
Yeah, we're looking at smaller communities that have a municipal stadium. Okay, because we want to sell beer, that's just part of it. We want to sell beer. And so, those venues that seat 5,000, 7,500, maybe 10,000. Okay, not any bigger than that. All right, we're talking about optics and all this. The Montreal Alouettes used to play in the old the O that was built for the Olympics in 1976. Well, they were getting 25,000 people, but the place seats 60,000, and the optics weren't good. Now they moved to McGill University, and their people are fighting to get a ticket because it's sold out at 25,000. Different optics, different feel. You're closer to the players. That was an important thing, and I think that really helped the Alouettes organization by making that move. And so we don't want people to come in and they're in this great big venue that echoes. We don't want that. We want this to feel like this is our hometown party here, where everybody's getting together. The whole neighborhood walks down to the stadium. Let's go to the game tonight. Come on, let's everybody go. Throw a kid in the stroller, or, put a dog on the leash. The other kids are on their bikes. Go down to the stadium, watch a team that they're invested in, and have a good family night out. We're going to start play right before Memorial Day. Will be done by the third week in July. So it's a nice condensed time where the summer is really starting. Everybody's feeling good about being outside again. And then for a player's perspective, the season's done in time for them to go to an NFL camp. And the CFL is only about maybe 3 games in. And it makes them an easy transition. Or in the CFL, normally right after NFL cuts, that's a big time for them to make adjustments to their rosters right at the beginning of September now. And so it would give a kid a chance to kind of recover a little bit and then be ready to go to a CFL camp then also. So all that timing, it's not just by coincidence. It's, we've looked up and down what's worked in leagues, what hasn't worked in leagues. And we think we're hitting a niche here where, and again, this is going to be bus travel. We're not flying all over the country. So that cost isn't in there. And so we're going to be, right now, our structure is a North Division and a South Division. The North Division plays the North, the South plays the South. Home and home, you're on a bus, you're not spending thousands and thousands of dollars trying to charter or commercially fly all over the country. The only time there'll be any major travel is when the North champion plays the South champion. And then, so that's the only cost, real overhead that they'll have. And so we want to create that regional competition so everybody knows the teams. You start creating some rivalries where people come out, oh, we don't like that team from over there. We don't like that town. And then, create that. And then systematically, we think we have the right structure here. We know we have the right structure here. And just by the response since I was announced, the type of people that are starting to reach out to the league office now and everything we're handling there. And I keep saying, pump the brakes here now. We don't want to expand too much too fast. Okay. And again, that's been another problem with other leagues. We want to get established in what we're doing, hone in on what's right, what's wrong, build that, and then systematically continue to expand once we get this North and South division with probably 4 teams in each division going.
Okay. I think Spurs wanted to say something. Me? Okay. You said 8. So you're announcing 8 teams for this league so you can kind of add like how many weeks are we going to have for a season like the Continental Football League?
No, what we'll do is we're going to play one preseason game from someone who isn't in our league. There's plenty of local, semi-pro type teams that are out there that we can have a scrimmage against, and then start playing games, and it'll be a 6-game schedule. Okay, so you're playing each team in your division, home and home, and then have a playoff where one plays 2 in each division, and the winner of each one of those games then play each other for the championship. Real simple, nice and easy. Let's get our feet on the ground, do it right. Make sure we're engaged with the fans, that we're doing things the right way. These kids aren't going to have to pay for anything. We're already in negotiations for league-wide uniforms. This is not going to be some Joe Bag of Donuts deal. I can remember I won't say the team again, but I was coming out of college, and a guy that had played a few years before me was playing for a semi-pro team in Ohio. And he said, Mike, we need a quarterback bad. Come on out to practice. We got our own bus. You'll love this, Spurge. We got our own bus. We're going to be able to, but we need you. Come to practice. So I go to practice, and I see the bus. And it's about a 20-year-old school bus that's been painted blue, and it looks like they did it with spray cans of paint. And they had a keg of beer in the back of it. And I'm watching these guys tape thigh pads to their legs, crush a beer and throw it in the back of the car. So I watched practice, and afterwards he goes, "So what do you think?" I said, "I ain't playing quarterback in this league." If I was a linebacker or a safety, maybe, but there's no way I'm playing quarterback doing this. And so again, another lesson learned. That is not what we're going to be. This is absolutely not going to be that. This is going to be professionally run. Every player is going to get paid. We have a set salary base for every one of them. We're going to be providing uniforms, so everybody is uniformly right across the entire league. This is going to be a professionally run league. This and I want to stay away from the term semi-pro at all. This is about minor league football, and something that is a concept that's been talked about but was never executed. This is going to get executed now.
It's funny that you say that, because there was that league which you actually were part of way back in the day in 01 called the original XFL.
Yep.
And then it came back in 2020, and right here in St. Louis, we had a guy that was named Kurt Hunzinger who had a 5-year plan of what he wanted to do with this league.
Yep.
And you keep talking minor league sports, minor league. You want them to be like the minor leagues. That's where Kurt came from, minor league baseball. Have you reached out to people like that? Because now he's over in the National Lacrosse League doing great things, making that bigger. Yep. And with your mind for football and the years that you've been in, like, have you reached out to former people from the past to find out their opinions?
Yeah, no, we've done all kinds of research. We've been talking to people for well over a year, and so we've taken it all. Where this was the good, this was the bad. And the people that I'm working with and myself have a pretty far reach. We know a lot of people in a lot of areas, and there's some minor league developmental leagues in baseball and in basketball that are really doing quite well. And so we've already talked to several of them. We're going to talk to more, and we're just going to find out what were the bumps in the road that you guys had that maybe help us out here and let us avoid those. There's no sense in not understanding history and then repeating it. That makes no sense at all.
Palm City Dental.
And so we want to make sure that we're trying to dot all the I's and cross the T's and get as much information from guys that have had experience with doing this, have had some level of success. And I've said for years and years that I don't understand why the CFL doesn't really embrace AAA baseball more and see how they draw fans into the stadium. And because that would be, a similar type thing, because you can't compare the NFL and the CFL just in finances alone. That's not apples and oranges. That's apples and peanuts. And so see what level that you want to be. See what success has already been accomplished, because those people are successful because they overcame obstacles. Well, let's find out what those obstacles were, so we don't run into the same thing that's already been dealt with. Let's do this right, and that's the approach that we're taking. And it's been quite an interesting journey for over a year now of these discussions going on.
Arlington, before you go, because you know me, I am a fan first on anything. And I love the idea. You're wanting to go into these smaller areas, right?
Yep.
To bring the teams there. You guys just announced the Ohio Valley Ironman, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, the guy who runs that team his first name is Manny, correct? Am I
Yep. Manny Metzger.
Right? They did some great things. I mean, their YouTube broadcast they had over 150,000 people watching it on YouTube, right?
Yep.
With the way, like earlier, before we started this interview, you were talking about the way kids consume things, or the way kids learn things, right?
Right.
when it comes to that, what are you looking at? Are you going, or what is going to be your key demographic? Is it going to be this young new generation, or is it going to be the unks like me, or the unks like Arlington over there, or the boomers? Like, what is? I mean, you keep talking about families.
Yep.
So, like, what is going to be that key target for you to bring those fans in? Because, like the Savannah Bananas, what they do with their fans.
Isn't that
Unbelievable.
awesome?
Even though it's a little gimmicky,
Yep.
it ain't real baseball. Well, hold on, it's not real baseball, but it is fun to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You can't really do that with football. You know what I mean?
No.
Tell me you ain't gonna do nothing crazy like that in this game, right?
No.
Okay.
No, we're
But,
not,
like,
we're not doing that.
But, like, what is that key demographic that you're looking? Are you looking for these young kids with the quick hits, like you said, when you were putting on the plastic helmets and the J.C. Penney jerseys and you and your brother out there banging heads? Or are you looking at the people closer to our age?
Well, you know what? I think it's really a combination of all of it, because, over a year ago when we started to talk about this, and as other leagues were trying to form, and friends of mine from across the country were starting to get involved in this minor league type of football. The nostalgia overwhelmed me. I mean, my head went right back to going to those games with my fathers and my uncles, and watching those guys play, and they were my local heroes, and so I think it all ties in together. Is that we want my generation that remembers how fun that was to kind of grab their families and say, let's go see this. This is what I did when I was a kid. And then now now as we talk about families, the younger kids, those will be their local heroes. We're going to sell jerseys from those teams on our sites is the initial plan right now. So now you got in town some kid wearing a jersey from his local team. And build that helps build that community. But we also, you're talking about the success that the Ironmen had with their YouTube channel. That also gives an awful lot of current college players that feel like they're getting overlooked. They're going to be able to look at this and say, I think I can play in this league. This gives me a chance to continue to play and develop my skills and get in front of them. Because look, I've already been contacted by player personnel people in both leagues. What exactly are you doing here? And then when I say, we're going to start having some regional tryouts, they're like, well, we have people that can help you. So these kids are going to get visibility that they never would have had before, and because you can live stream on so many different platforms, we're already in talking and set up with several, is that we're going to have that reach that so it's multi-layered here. Get the older people in the family that have some nostalgia, that remember it, to get their families, their younger families, to get there, get the kids to say, these are my local heroes, starting wearing their jerseys to school every day, and give the current players an opportunity to say, this is another window of opportunity for me. So I don't know if we're just targeting, we're not saying, oh, we're looking at 18 to 34. No, we're not. We're looking at everybody within a community.
It's funny that you mentioned that because there are going to be cities that won't be involved in it. And me personally, I'm big on optics. I'm big on seeing the game if I can't be at the game. Right. So what are the strategies you're looking at for media opportunities and broadcasting opportunities so people can see the Continental Football League? I know you're looking at some ideas right now. But what are you looking at the moment?
It'd be premature at this point, because anybody that's ever followed me before, when I was a head coach or general manager, I kept a lot of business acumen inside. I'm not. Everybody doesn't have to know everything right away, and so we've got some things that are in progress. We've got a media group that is handling that end of it, and we're in conversations with several different outlets. But we're going to get seen. we're gonna be out there in live streaming. We're not. I get such a kick. I ever since I was in the XFL, I get contacted from everybody that ever wants to start a league, and they're all talking about, yeah, we're working our way up ABC or ESPN. Do you know how difficult that is? I mean, come on. And then where are they going to have the time? Look, when I was in the XFL in 2001, we were on Saturday night on NBC. Okay. Everybody saw us. My mom, I was microphoned to every game. My mom had a whole list of every play that I called. And I was like, oh my God, anybody can do this? Because my mom had it almost play by play and while she was doing that. But one of the reasons that the XFL folded was Dick Ebersol wanted to put the XFL on all those new substations, if you will, of NBC, the WG, whatever all that stuff was back in the day. And Vince said, no, we're not doing that. I'm staying on NBC. Well, then those two got all hussy with each other and, pulled the plug. But now, after all these years, after 2 decades, that would be that would have been a great outlet for us if we would have understood how it was all unfolding. Now you've got multiple ways that you can stream different, and we're looking at everything that's going to make it easy for the fan, that if we're not playing at home, you can follow us on the road.
Excellent idea. Okay.
I like what you say. I mean, you're talking, this is the X-Fan Show. I'm Spurge. Right over there is my partner in crime, the A-Train. We are doing a special with the greatness, His Royal Majesty, the Commissioner, Mr. Mike Kelly. Hey, you said you wanted to be called Your Royal Highness, so I will respect your wishes, sir. That's just how I am.
It's kind of grown into that,
You did it.
It's just kind of grown into that. Yeah.
Listen, anytime we post anything, we're going to say this comes from His Royal Highness Commissioner Mike Kelly. Now, that's just how we do it here on this show,
okay.
sir.
All right, yeah.
What I find interesting is your 45 years of experience of football, going from the traditional of the CFL to the NFL, then to the innovation of the Orlando Rage and 01 XFL original, right?
Yep.
To now to the Continental Football League reset. We're still going to be built in tradition, but with bold ideas.
That's a good way to put it.
How do you think your 45 years of experience and then everything that you've seen and everything that you know from your past till now, like, you don't have to give it all away, but like, what is that vision of how you see this league progressing?
Well, again, it's kind of all the things that we've talked about here, is that, I've been at the very highest level. I've been at the mid-level, and I've been at the level that was just coming out of the gate. And so I've seen it. And it wasn't that I was just coaching. I was also working in player personnel. I was also working as a general manager. So I've seen this from every level. And I know what pitfalls are there and what challenges we're going to have. And my whole thing is trying to pull the reins on people to get so excited about it. It's just, let's do this right. If you don't build a solid base, nothing is going to work. Okay, you're building a house. If you don't have a solid foundation, it doesn't matter how nice it looks up above you, because it's gonna end up getting cracks in it and falling apart. Okay, so this is the thing we have to do is be really smart about our organizational structure. We've already got really good people in place. We're going to bring more good people in place that have experience, that are good people, that will be able to communicate each other and share ideas without somebody getting all off kilter about one idea is better than another. Let's talk about this and figure out what's going to be best for all of us. And I think that's where my experience is going to come in, is that, I want to, when I was a head coach or a general manager, if we were in a conference room having a staff meeting, I never sat at the end of the table. Never, ever. I sat in the middle of the table, so everybody else was around me, because I wanted to be able to be right there with them and say, let's hear what you guys have to say, and then I'm the one that gets to say, all right, I think that no, we're not doing that, but let's talk about this a little bit more. And engage everybody, because everybody's got great experiences. Okay, mine are long. They're different. You're not going to find anybody that has as eclectic of a background as I am. I help prepare players for the NFL draft. I've been a professor of sport management. I broke down film for Monday Night Football at ESPN for Ron Jaworski and Greg Cosell, and would go over. I taught a Monday Night Football class, and I would say to the class, I think, because they didn't know I was over at NFL Films breaking down stuff, and I'd say, I think watch what Jaworski says here tonight about X, Y, and Z, and then it would happen, and they go, how did you know that? But my experiences, I think, are unique, and I'm not trying to be boastful or it's just the reality. You look it up. I've done all these things. And so now I want to bring in good people around me that are going to help contribute. And then I'll, let me be the mediator here and figure out what's going to be best for us, and just keep putting in block by block of that foundation instead of just trying to pour a big wall. Let's go block by block and do it right.
You can, Your Royal Highness, you can ask Arlington. I get goosebumps when it's like that, because that's what the way me and Arlington kind of created the X Fan Show was. We talk constantly about the different things that we're going to do, and sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't disagree, but just to hear the passion that you have behind this, it gives me goosebumps. That's why I was going like this. It gives me goosebumps to hear a commissioner, which I think a lot of these leagues that have come before you, as you're recreating the Continental Football League, with the Major League Football, the as me and Arlington like to call it, the Charlie League, the AAF, the UFL, all of that stuff, they haven't had that commissioner to the league.
Yeah.
Why is that important? Why do you, as the man behind that's done all this for years, why is it important that a league like this has to have that commissioner?
Well, I think a commissioner needs to have a background in that sport that they're commissioner of. It doesn't make any sense to bring in a businessman that doesn't understand the business of sport. They're two separate entities, and to understand what each franchise is really going through. What is their daily operation like? If you haven't been in that, that's a whole different world. That's why I get the biggest kick out of fans when they start saying about, oh, they should do this and that. Most fans, if they had to really be in that situation, it'd be a little tough for them because you don't have the background. And I think that's where I bring a different dimension. There was a league that tried to get started. I think they're still trying to get going. I had people from that league contacting me over a year ago saying, look, we got a commissioner that he's good with the business side of it and, getting visibility and that kind of stuff, but he has no idea about football and what's going on. And would you be interested in being our director of football operations? And so that's where this all continued to grow to, is that having a commissioner that understands, I've washed uniforms. I've done everything that you can do in the business of sport and running a football program from every level. And so now, if somebody talks to me in their particular franchise about something that they're concerned about with, more than likely I've already dealt with it at some point in my career, okay, because I've done it. And these other commissioners, they don't have that kind of background. And again, I'm not trying to be boastful here. It's just the facts. Is that I've done all this, and so I'm looking forward to. This is the most energized I've been in a long time. because I think this has substance. I think it's being approached in the right manner, and that we've got the right people in place to make this go, and not be too full of ourselves. We're just going to do it right.
I love it. I love it.
I love it.
Hearing about it. And Mike, you have a great vision. I love what I'm hearing. I want to see more of the Continental Football League as we're getting towards its launch in summer 2026. And the thing is, Spurge, if you listen to him, he said 8 teams, 6 weeks, 6 games. So it's like he's keeping everything simple. And that's what's getting missed in these leagues today. Everybody wants to get extravagant. Just use the KISS method. And I think if we get to that, I think we can grow as it continues. And that's the thing that got missed, is the simplicity. And hearing Mike talk about that, it's like, man, now I almost want to run through a wall.
Listen, Your Royal Highness, I'll do whatever you need. I'll run through a wall. I'll do whatever. I mean, I got goosebumps sitting here listening to Arlington talk about it, listening to you talk about this. Listen, if you want a loudmouth to scream and yell from the toppest of the mountains of Mount Everest, I'm your guy. I will scream and yell and say, if all these idiots hate watching the Continental Football League, they're all morons. I'll say that. Well, maybe I'll keep it a little more professional.
I want you to yell and scream, but I want you to yell and scream stuff that makes sense, okay? So
okay, well, you tell me whatever it is you want me to yell and scream, and I'll scream it.
You know, but just think, if you're in a smaller town and you got a municipal stadium that's been basically collecting cobwebs, you got nothing going on in there for years and years. Let's revitalize. Let's give a shot in the arm to these smaller towns that are just kind of going through the motions of being a town. There's nothing that pulls it all together. Let's get these stadiums fired up again. Let's get the communities fired up and bring this all together.
Like the old Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, why not?
I love that idea.
Yep.
I mean, here, I'll give you the example. You go to Springfield, Missouri. The only thing they have in Springfield, Missouri is the Springfield Redbirds.
Yeah.
But people get jazzed up to go to those games.
Yep.
Yep.
Even though they're the AA team for here in St. Louis, people get jazzed to go to those games. Yep. And I love that that's what the kind of feel that you guys want to bring to these other cities that are coming. Now, again, like I said, you have the Ohio Valley men. They were a great team. Maney did a great job up there with those teams. What is it that you are looking at as the commissioner in this league? What is it that you're looking at as a team? Like, what is your intangibles that you want to represent your league?
Well, first of all, every one of these franchises, we're going to have an onboarding process with each one of them. And we've already got the blueprint laid out. And a lot of it has to do with the Ohio Valley Ironmen. Okay. That was phenomenal what they had there. Those kids were housed properly. They got a meal a day. They were getting paid a salary. They were out in the community doing, meet and greets. It was impressive as to what they had going. And then you go to the game and they win their first 3 games, 166-0. That's why everybody, the other team said, nope, we're not playing you, because they were at a different level. And that's what I want people to understand. This is not going to be some, I almost said a phrase that I don't want to use here right now. This is not going to be just some, put together with gum and paper clips. We have an outline, and there will be an absolute onboarding for every single franchise that they have to follow this outline, because we know it works. And this is going to be professionally run. It's going to be professionally presented, and we're going to hold those franchises accountable to follow that blueprint that we have, and to do this thing right. And it's not going to be just a bunch of freelance, separate entities. They're in a league, and they're going to represent that league, and we're going to do it right.
I like how he repeats it, because when you repeat it, you have to hear that this is what the plan is, and this is how it's going to be. All right, Mike, so much, and we got to get you on again, because there are going to be some other things that we want to discuss that we cannot do today. Please keep us in mind, because I think where we're at, me and Spurge at right now, is we want to see leagues in football. They need to succeed, because like you said, you need outlets for these guys. These kids wants to get to the next level. You want to create stars for your league, for kids that's fans of the game, to wear their jerseys and say, hey, this is somebody I represent. And I think that is the coolest thing about this new league that's coming, is that the focus is literally on what this show is about, the fans. And that's what I like about it and want to get involved with, because it's fan oriented. So Mike, thank you so much, man, for coming.
Well, hold on, Arlington. We forget the one thing he kept saying. Hold on. I know we have to let His Royal Highness go. He's a busy man. He's running a football league. And we're just two goofballs talking to the man. I mean, this is very important for us. I'm jacked up and I'm excited, Arlington. This is great. But he keeps talking about fan and community ownership.
Yep.
Before your Royal Highness, before we let you go, how is that process going to work for fans if they want to become? Let's just say because you have the Ohio Valley team.
Yep. How
can somebody say, hey, I want to be a part of the whole Ohio Valley team, even though I'm in St. Louis, Missouri? I want to be a part owner of that team. Like, how is that going to work? Or can you even talk about that now, because it's still at an early stage?
I will tell you this, that's going to be released fairly soon. But we do have a model from the European soccer as to how they do it over there, and we're already registered with the Trades Commission with it. So this isn't like you're just throwing money out the window. This is every step that we've taken is absolutely legit, already outlined from a proven type of way of creating fan ownership. And like I said, we are already registered with the Trades Commission. So this is all going to be legitimate. Your money's going to be to supporting and being a part owner of your team.
Oh my God, I love that. I might just own a piece in all of these teams.
And why not?
I might as well.
Yeah, you could be like the Grand Poobah.
For one of these places,
Grand Poobah. Well, we're good.
For one of these places, could you do? There's a little bitty ballpark over here in just across the river in Sauget, Illinois. They're called the Gateway Grizzlies. They do what's called a Krispy Kreme burger.
The Luther. Oh my gosh.
Just as a fan, could we suggest could that maybe be the official burger of the Continental Football League, the Krispy Kreme burger?
Yeah. I have a daughter that's a diabetic, and
I'm a type 2.
Hey, as long as we got IVs that go along with it, we're good. We'll be fine. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're a thinker, aren't you, Spurge? Yeah,
man, you just have no idea.
No,
Mike, you might need to give him a job. I'm serious.
It irritates Arlington how much my brain's always moving. Because again, like I said,
it's going like this, and then it goes like this, and then it goes like that.
Oh, it does. That does. But that's why we created this show. It was for the fans, and we wanted the fans to come have an outlet to say what they want to say, their displeasures and stuff like that. And then we would sit back and say, okay, well, you don't like this, but why not? Because here's why we think it's good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean, everything, we've paid attention to a lot of these leagues, and everything you're saying and everything I'm hearing from you is that you just ain't throwing this together on a limb and a stick.
No.
And hoping this works. You guys are really digging into this to find out what works, what doesn't work. And with your experience, and I don't know the people you have involved with you, but it sounds like you got something going here. And
Yep.
I get goosebumps even talking about you having things going here, and I'm excited for it.
No, it's just I'm working with people that have experience in a whole lot of different levels, and we're drawn off each other, and we start conversations, and they can go and go and go, and then we all have the idea that, okay, now let's bring it back here. We've thrown all this out here. Now let's really bring it back into what's the core, and having conversations and being able to bounce ideas off of people. It's almost something that we're losing in this country right now.
Oh, you ain't lying.
It's insane, and so this is my bastion now to actually be involved in something that I absolutely love. My dad was a high school football coach. My uncle was a high school football coach. I was 4 years old riding on the 7-man sled. OSHA would lose their mind now in this day and age. I'm 4 years old hanging on. I got 7 high school kids whacking that sled, and we're riding up and going back. It was probably because my dad didn't make any money in those days. That was my amusement park ride. So, but that's me. And so this gives me the opportunity to draw off of a career and to make something that I really want this to be sustainable. I want, after I'm long gone, I want the Continental Football League to continue to play, and that I had some kind of an impact on all different kinds of small communities, because I've lived in the small ones, I've lived in the big ones, and the small ones, sometimes they just start going through the motion. So let's have something that gives you emotion in your community.
I love it, man. You know what? That's how we're going to leave that.
That's exactly how we're going to end it. Your Royal Highness, thank you for joining.
Thank you, man.
One unprofessional to the professional over there. We do appreciate it. I'll let him take over because I'll just keep rambling. All right, Arlington, go ahead.
I want to thank Continental Football League Commissioner Mike Kelly for joining us on the show. I was going to do something with him, but I was like, you know what? We could stop with Mike, because we could go on for days with this, man. Like, come on. Like, I could sit here for hours doing this stuff.
Well, my girlfriend says she wants to put a Fitbit on my tongue, because once I get to 10,000 words, I need to stop. So,
what was that movie with Eddie Murphy? 1,000 words or something like that. That's all he could speak.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. But I love talking about this. I think you guys can see I'm excited about this. I got a passion for it. I believe in the structure that we're putting together, and I would just love to see some of these same communities that have just are drying up, that back in the 60s and 70s had those teams. It was part of their fabric. Let's get that renewed again. And I think it could be really a fun thing for a whole lot of people across the country.
Excellent.
Sir, before you go, this is where you get to do your shameless plug. Give people the website name to where they can go and follow it, check it out, and look anything up about your guys' league. What's that website?
COFLfootball.com. Okay.
There you go, people. Right there. You see it right there. Arlington's got it down there.
Yeah. Check it out. It's a cool site already. You're going to see that, people, they'll look at this and go, wait a minute. Bill Walsh's first head coaching job was in the Continental Football League. Okay, Kenny Stabler, before he played for the Oakland Raiders, played for Seattle in the Continental Football League. All right,
Yes.
Otis Sistrunk played in the Continental Football League, and then he never went to college. So if you remember, whenever he'd get introduced, he'd say he was from the University of Mars. And so there's a lot of history here. That we want to, we're the Indiana Jones here. We're the tomb diggers, and we're going to start blowing some dust off of these and get this right again.
Love it. I love it. I love this, man. This is great. Again,
We'll
thank
have
you
some
so
fun.
much.
Just, hey,
Yes.
fellas, the league, myself, we appreciate you guys and what you're doing, and the fact that you reached out this soon in my my leadership role here. You're going to be a part of us now. Help us grow, and I'm always willing to help you guys.
Absolutely.
Sir, you have an open door invitation. I would be out work making money, but Arlington's like, we got His Royal Highness Mike Kelly. And I was like, you know what? I'll take the afternoon off. I'm coming to do the interview.
Yeah, so that's what I usually do, is have people that I love lose money. So
you have an open door. Anybody from the Continental Football League has an open door to come on the X-Fan show, and we will. I'll be nice and I won't scream a bunch of dumb stuff, but I'll scream loud and proud for the Continental Football League from the top of the mountains.
Greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, man. It is a pleasure. And I want to thank Michael Lathrop. Thank you, man. Thank you for this, for real, because this is great, because we're seeing a new league that's going to come right before our eyes in summer 2026. So, Mike, all the best to you. And this is not over. Definitely going to have you back on again in the future and hear more about the developments of the league. Okay.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is. To talk to you guys again.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness. You have a wonderful day.
You're more than welcome, sir. But
as long as I can be your court gesture, I'll be okay.
We can go back to calling me Mike. I'm okay.
Okay, Mike.
That is Mike Kelly. Grateful to have him on. I want to get into these real quick before we get up out of here, because we didn't get a chance to do it because we had Mike. We had such a great conversation with Mike. And so
Arlington, I'll tell you this. I haven't been this excited for a new league starting up since the return of XFL 2.0 when they had them here in St. Louis.
Listen, I would say that how all of that translated when the league came out, was big, but where we are right now, it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be fantastic. And then just hearing them talk about simplicity, talking about fan community engagement, talking about the marketing strategies.
And Arlington, it's like we've said before. I think that's the thing that fans want, is that fan engagement. And you guys put their website back up, Arlington. You guys can go to their website, and it literally tells you fan ownership. You heard it right from the commissioner's mouth. I mean, Arlington, you remember the Freedom Football League that Ricky Williams was involved in?
Yes, I do remember that.
We bought into that league. We paid our money to buy into that league. It never happened. Again, I don't know why it didn't happen or whatever. But again, this is about getting the fans involved. And I think it's a great idea of going into those cities and saying, hey, look, again, you guys don't believe me, go on YouTube and type in the Ohio Valley Ironman. They had a couple thousand people in that stand in their games. Mm-hmm. It was like he said, that team, you got to give Manny all the credit in the world. He stuck to that team, and he put that team in the community and did a lot of great things in that community at Ohio Valley area. And I think it was in West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't it right?
Right.
West Virginia area. It's like right there. It's like on the border of Ohio, West Virginia. It was like right there. But I mean, Arlington, if you're a true football fan, and I love his analogy about the Packers. If you're a true football fan, why wouldn't you want to invest in something that's going to give the fans a feel of ownership?
Give something to believe, for real. Like this is what fans will want in football. Like serious, or anywhere, just anywhere. And you see it with what's going on in minor league football. I mean, minor league baseball. And that has been a MO for fans, is you want to draw them. You want them to get close to it. Now, I'm really getting geeked for that type of thing.
I am, because Arlington, you know me, my mind goes 100 different places.
It does.
When I hear people talk about fan engagement. Arlington, we've been on the phone, and I've been on the phone with other people talking about the Savannah Bananas, going, I love what that dude is doing with the fan engagement, how he is caring about the fans. And you hear it from Mike. He's like, this is about the fans. If the fans are what's going to help our league succeed. We have the playbook in place. We're building it up year after year, building it up. And he's like, that key component is the small areas, municipal stadiums, to get the fans involved and have a pride in their community. Something we don't have anymore in pretty much.
A lot of the stuff, and a lot of sports we don't really have.
Right.
And that's because, like,
Arlington, I know. Yo, go ahead, finish.
No, I was just saying a lot of it is corporate based because they want to see more of that than what the fans want. That's why you get a lot of pushback from fans, because corporate entities are the ones that's putting their hands on it.
Yeah. Like here, Arlington, like I don't think they'd come to St. Louis because we have the Battlehawks, right?
Right.
But I mean, you think about it. If you started pushing the St. Louis market, I mean, hell, they could go out and play out in O'Fallon, Missouri. They have that little stadium, they have that little stadium out there in O'Fallon, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go play in the Gateway Grizzly Stadium if they wanted to, just right across the river on Sauget, right?
Yeah.
What's that? Lindenwood, the Lindenwood University fits what? 5,000-6,000 people, right?
8,000 people, yeah.
You get into the St. Louis market and you start telling people, hey, you guys buy into this. Yeah, you're going to have an owner, but you guys buy into this. Let's really see if St. Louis would be the St. Louis Ben could show, hey, listen, wait a second. We're going to dump our money into this team. We are a part owners of this team. This gives you that real connection of what the UFL is missing for its fan base. Me just speaking as a fan. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, case in point, remember the USL with the St. Louis team that was out there in Fenton? Remember they had the soccer team that was out there, and people with 4,000, 5,000 people go out there. They was ready, ticket ready.
Crazy.
It was crazy.
Going nuts. I mean, that's where the St. Louis Hooligans were born. And then they moved over to St. Louis City.
Right.
That's where they were born.
To come out of that. Like, it's more community based. You bringing in the city, you bringing in the community. So yeah, I love it.
I love the idea of it.
All right,
and regardless if we don't get a team in St. Louis, I'm still going to support this team. I told you, hell, I might buy into all of the teams.
You never know.
I might buy into all of them because I think it's a great idea.
You definitely. All right, let's do
it.
All right, we got college football picks. Last
week. We're doing college. Are we doing the top games?
Listen, I got the top games already ready, brother. So that's why I'm prepared. As you can see from last week, Spurge beat me 6. He had 6.
Somebody who knows nothing about college football, and I smacked you.
It's okay. I love it. All right. Let's get into these games. All right.
Okay.
We got Clemson and Georgia Tech is the first big game.
What is it? Hold on. What is it again?
Clemson, Georgia Tech, number 12.
Well, we know from last week. I already talked about what one of my favorite college team was, right? And they didn't let me down last week, so you know who I'm going with.
You going with Clemson?
Of course.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Clemson. I got to go with Clemson. That's a
no-brainer. Copycatter.
That's a no-brainer, man, against Georgia Tech.
Copycatter. Are these the top 8 teams, the top 8 games of the weekend?
They call it the biggest games. It's 7 this week. So
okay, it's 7. Okay, we got 7. Okay.
We're just gonna add to the fray this go around. Okay. I go with Clemson. The next game we got is number 19 Alabama versus Wisconsin.
Wait, who?
Wisconsin.
Listen.
You think an upset is here?
I have a feeling there's going to be a riot soon in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. If they don't start doing something. I mean, who did Alabama play last week?
Nobody.
And it's the first time since 2003 that Alabama lost to an unranked team in the opener of the season. I'm going to go with the big W.
Oh, it's at home.
I don't care. I'm going with the big W.
You going with the big? You gonna take a nasty loss with this? Okay. So you said Wisconsin with that one, right? All right. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Bama.
Of course you are.
Just gonna be honest with myself. Why would I go?
I'm right now, Arlington. I'm gonna make the pick. Alabama does not win a game at all this year.
Okay. All right. We'll see how you feel about that. All right. We got 2 top-ranked teams in the next game. Is Georgia and Tennessee. Number 6 Georgia at number 15 Tennessee.
Oof.
I know who I'm going with that one.
Listen, I'll say this.
Ooh,
Georgia has been the top for a while. They've been very, very good over the years. Tennessee is just starting to get good again. I mean, I don't think they've been good since Peyton Manning played there. Bobblehead Peyton Manning
Georgia
played there. Well, am I wrong or am I right?
You just said Georgia, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Bulldogs.
And you're with the Georgia Bulldog. You're with the Georgia Bulldog. Bye. All right. Anyway, Miami and South Florida.
Oh, you're going Bulldogs too?
Yes, I'm going Bulldogs.
Okay.
No, there's no question. Miami versus South Florida. This is Miami's home game against South Florida, who's ranked number 18. South Florida is. Miami's number 5 in the country. I'm thinking you're just going to have to go. Come on, man. I don't think, as much as I want to think South Florida could pull off an upset, and they.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to go the U. I'm going to go the U, baby.
I'm going to go for the upset in South Florida.
Oh, you're going South Florida. Okay.
I'm going to go with the upset in South Florida. I'm afraid for doing it, but that's okay. I think I'll be all right. All right. Let's go with LSU, number 3 LSU against Florida. This should be an easy one.
Are we going Florida? Are we going Gators or Florida State?
Florida Gators. This is an SEC matchup.
Oh, damn.
I'm going LSU.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Then we got Notre Dame versus Texas A&M. Number 8 Notre Dame versus number 16 Texas A&M. Prime time.
Listen.
Prime time.
Yeah, look, I'm not a fan of Notre Dame. I do love the Irishmen, though. Right?
They're at home against Texas
But
A&M.
Texas A&M, when's the last time Texas A&M's been actually good?
So
It's been a minute, right?
So Notre Dame, sir.
Yeah, I'm going Dame.
I'm going with Marcus Freeman. Yep, in Notre Dame. All right, final one should be pretty easy. Number 11, South Carolina versus Vanderbilt. South Carolina.
Man, the Gamecocks have really – I just like that team name, the Gamecocks. I don't like their colors. I'm not a fan of red that much. But the Gamecocks have just – over the past few years, man, have really built up a great program down there. That's actually a team I actually did follow because, one of my favorite players, Clowney, I love smash mouthing and stuff like that. Not so much a great college or pro player. He's had some games. But, dude, I'm going to Gamecocks, baby.
Same. I'm going to have to do that. So those are the picks for college football this week. There he is. There's
only one that we differ two. Tied in Wisconsin and South Florida versus the U.
Yep. Well, we had to. I think it'd be best if we.
Well, we can't always agree.
Exactly. So I'm gonna smell an upset in one of them, and he's smelling one.
Yeah, I'm gonna run the board again.
You didn't run the board last week, so what are you talking about?
I'm gonna run the board.
All right. So those are his college picks. Those are mine.
If you're a betting person, just bet on Spurs. You'll win. You saw I went 6-2. You'll win. If you go with Arlington 5-3, you'll definitely lose your parlay.
Oh yeah, that's what we doing.
Don't take Arlington's bet. All right, let's go to NFL picks again, which I dominated Arlington in the NFL picks.
You lie and a half. You were 8-8.
Listen, it's fake news. Whatever Arlington puts up, that's fake news. That's a lie.
There they are.
I was not 8-8. Arlington's a liar. You guys got to remember, Arlington did change one of his picks.
It was wrong.
He did change his
So
pick.
What do you mean?
He was supposed to stick with the Jets, and then all of a sudden, I got to pick the Steelers. So that's he.
Okay, so that's how we going now, right? That's what we're doing.
I'm just spewing the truth.
Listen, we good here, brother. We good here. All right. The Thursday night game, which is going on as we speak.
It is going on. Well, and if you guys paid attention, we put our picks out earlier this week. It's the Eagles versus the Commanders versus the Packers. You guys know I'm a huge Jaden Daniels fan. I love that kid. But with the wrist injury and with the addition of Michael Parsons, which, hey, Jerry Jones, you're an intelligent GM. Keep up the good work. Your team will be good in a few years with your 4 number 1 draft picks you got coming up in the next 2 drafts. Arlington, I've already done it. I already picked it. We already made the pick. It's the Packers. We're both going Packers, right?
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Next up.
I got it.
Giants and Cowboys.
All right, let's go. You ready?
Giants and Cowboys, brother.
Listen, man. Whew, Russell. And Mr. Scatterbo. No. Where were you at? You were supposed to be the best running back in the rookie draft class or whatever, and you got me a lousy 5 points in fantasy, you bum. But Russell, listen, Russ, I love you. I respect you. But Russ, it's time to give it up. Let Jackson Dart take over.
No, it's time for Jameis Winston. It's Jameis Winston time.
Well, Jackson Dart's on there too.
I don't care about no Jackson Dart.
You know they ain't gonna. Well, I mean, listen, I do like Jameis Winston, but you know that what's his name? Whatever that coach, that bald-headed coach's name, Dubo, Deba, Booba, Booty, Voodoo. He'll go with Jackson Dart before he goes with Jameis Winston.
So
just saying.
Both picking Cowboys is what we saying.
Well, of course, I don't like Dak Prescott, so I'm going Cowboys.
Okay, Steelers.
Well, who are you going with?
Cowboys, man. Come on, man.
Okay.
It's a cinch. Come on, dude. All right. Seahawks, Steelers. I'm going to choose the Steelers at home. Yep. They'll move to 2-0.
You know, Arlington. Listen, Sam Darnold didn't look that bad.
They lost.
Well, I know. He didn't look Minnesota Sam Darnold. He looked like New York Jets Sam Darnold. Aaron Rodgers went into his old ex-girlfriend's house and smacked them with 4 touchdowns at 41 years old. Listen, I'm not betting against Aaron Rodgers at home. So yeah, I'm going Steelers.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, next up is Rams and Titans. This should be pretty easy.
I mean, look. I'm not even picking this game. You should know who I'm taking.
You're not picking.
Who am I taking?
The Rams.
I mean, you're probably taking. Are we going to discuss this because you're picking the same team too?
Correct. All right.
Okay.
We'll go with it.
We'll move
on. Bills and Jets.
Again, 22. Listen, John, you're winning the game. Why do you? I don't understand why you let off the gas, and then all of a sudden, here come Josh Allen, Mr. Superman, and just bench you over. Like, Arlington, I don't get it. Arlington. I don't get it. Why take your foot off the gas? 22 unanswered points against the Ravens? Who do you think I'm taking, Arlington?
Josh Allen and the Bills, the MVP.
You're taking the Jets?
No, I'm taking the Bills.
Oh, okay. All right.
They only put up a lot of points. You know what? I should take the Jets, but I'm not.
Oh, are you going to get froggy?
I am. I'm going to get froggy.
You're going your way. Well, hold on now. Listen, I know I goaded you last week to change your pick. Stick with your gut. Who are you going with?
The Jets.
Wow.
Going with the Jets. They're going to upset the Buffalo Bills.
All right. I put you down. Look, I put you down. Jets.
Thank you.
That's it.
I haven't changed it either. I'm not changing it. I won't
Well, you
change
never,
it
you
tonight.
didn't really say yet, so pick's
I won't
final.
change it. I won't change it. I won't change it.
I already wrote it down. It's written down.
I wrote it down too. The Jets is one.
Okay.
Patriots and the Dolphins.
Oh, God.
I know both teams look bad, man. Like, come on, dude.
Look bad. What was Tua doing?
Miami's at home too.
Yeah, but Vrabel, he for some reason he plays very well against the Dolphins, right? And there's a lot of turmoil on that Dolphins team right now.
And you think they're gonna drop again?
I hate to say it, but yeah, I'm going to go Pats.
All right,
because I think Drake May's only going to get better. Because he didn't look terrible. I just think he's only going to get better.
I picked the Dolphins.
Oh, wow. You're going Fins. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The next game up is the Jags and the Bengals.
Where you go? Oh, Jags and Bengals. Oh, God.
Mm.
You know, Joey B looks like Joey B again.
Right.
I was impressed with Travis Hunter.
I don't think he did much, but okay.
But he did enough for what he could do.
What he was given.
What he was given, right?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, Joey B's just back. Joey B looks good again. Jamar Chase looks good again.
You're not betting against Joey B. I know you're not.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals, bro.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right.
Who you going?
Bengals.
Okay.
Bengals. All right. 49ers and Saints.
Oh, man. Arlington, we've had talks about this.
I'm not doing like what I did last week. 49ers.
I just have to ask you one question, Arlington.
Yeah.
Do you now consider Brock Purdy a primetime player?
Nope.
Still no, not after what he did last week. But you're going to pick him.
Not because of him.
Okay. I'm going to Mr. nonchalantly mediocre primetime player, Brock Purdy.
The answer is going to be Christian McCaffrey is the reason why.
Oh, yeah, this would be his. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey is just a beast. So
that's my point.
Look, I mean, do we really need to pick the Browns and the Ravens?
We might.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. The Ravens is going to be.
No, dude, I'm going Ravens, bro.
Ain't no way, dude.
I'm going Ravens, bro.
Baltimore's going to be heated. They're going to run all over Baltimore.
Derrick Henry's going to come back and just smack everybody in the mouth.
And they're not stopping until it's
right.
Over. So the Browns is going to be in for a big surprise.
Exactly. Oh,
right.
God, the Bears and the Lions. Listen, what the?
Yes. A pair of 0-1 teams that got smacked in the mouth. Thanks
Arlington.
to the side they wanted to not live up to their expectations.
Hold on. I think
this is Ben Johnson's return to Detroit.
I don't matter. Caleb, listen, you know I'm a Bears fan, right?
You gonna bet against them?
But Caleb Johnson couldn't hit the side of the barn the other day. He was looking like Jamarcus Russell.
Come on, man.
You know? Listen.
Come on, Bears. Get the Bears in, bro.
I figured you were. I'm going Lions. As much as I hate to say it, I'm going Lions. Now, this is the game that intrigues me the most, Arlington. The Broncos and the Colts.
Did you put me down for the Bears?
Yes, I put you down for the Bears.
I figured. Okay.
The Broncos and the Colts intrigue me the most.
Why?
Because, man, Daniel Jones, he came and balled out.
Okay.
He balled out, right?
Okay.
But whatever Sean Payton's doing over there in Denver, and whatever Bo Nix is starting to do, is pretty damn impressive, right?
Okay.
Dude, I think I have to go with the Orange Crush on this one, man. As much as I hate to say it, I think I have to go with the Broncos.
I'm going Colts.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Colts at home.
Panthers and the Cardinals. You know I hate Kyler Murray, Arlington, but I am going to go Cards.
Ooh. That's going to be a tough one.
Carolina does not impress me.
I know they didn't last week. Cardinals. I'm sorry. I was going to go with the Panthers, but
here it is, Arlington, a rematch of the Super Bowl, baby. The Chiefs and the Eagles. Mr. Carter, I'm going to talk to you right now. Please keep your head in the game. There is no reason you guys should have won by 3 points against the Cowboys. You should have blown them out of the water. Keep your head in the game. Arlington, this Eagle team is built to beat the Chiefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Eagles against them. I could care less if it's an Arrowhead.
Same.
Ooh.
Only reason because is that I was gonna go Chiefs. I was like, nah, it's not cold. It won't be cold.
Hold on, Arlington.
Did I lose him? I think I did. He stepped away for a second. Okay. Well, while he's doing it, I'm going to make the next pick. He's back. All right, he's back up and running. Falcons and the Vikings. Can you go wrong against JJ?
Shut up.
This is for Amanda. I'm picking Minnesota.
Shut up. I'm going Vikings.
Okay. Next up, Buccaneers and Texans.
Well, this is the Monday night. We got the 2 Monday night games.
Yep.
Dude, listen. As much as I love both of these teams, right?
And there's revenge in this game here. This is the last time these two faced off. It was in Houston. Houston came back with the drive with C.J. Stroud. They won 39-37.
That is true.
Knocked off Tampa in Houston.
Man, Arlington, I'm going Texans.
All right.
Who you got?
I'm not going against C.J. Stroud, so Texans.
Okay, there we go.
And then the final game.
And then the last game.
Chargers and the Raiders.
Listen, I'm going Chargers. The way that they handled the Chiefs.
You think this is? I'm telling you, y'all sat there and played me like I was a fool.
You did. You're right, Arlington. I did.
Y'all sat there and said, "Man, no, this ain't even gonna be that year." Trust me, this is going to be a different Chargers team, and they'll mess around and win that division.
Is that who you're going with?
Yep, the Chargers.
All right, that's our picks. They are in.
All right, so here are Spurge's. There are his picks.
That's right.
Those are his.
There are my
winners.
picks. If you want to win, you bet that 17 or that whatever parlay right there, and you'll win a lot of money. If you want to lose, you bet Arlington's parlay of his picks, and you'll lose.
I'm gonna pick 8 teams this week. I'm nervous about picking them all 16. And then the time I actually pick 16, they pick 8.
You know, Arlington, we should do that one day.
You want to do a parlay?
Take our picks
and put them into a parlay?
And put them into a parlay.
and see which ones they're gonna hit.
See who gets, and we do it by the point spread. We'll play it by the point spread to see who will get the closest.
You don't want to play the money line?
Well, yeah, sure, why not?
I would play the. Don't get me wrong now. The money lines will. You want to play by the points? Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
why not?
Oh, jeez.
I know. Makes it a lot. It makes it a lot more interesting, doesn't it?
Asking for trouble, bro. But what you doing
All right,
here is
Arlington.
money line stuff.
Do what?
What you doing here is money line stuff.
That is true. That is true.
Give me your money.
Hey, I might do it. You never know. With me, you never know.
Give me your money. I'll go get
I
it.
am, but hey, I want to go watch the football game, bro.
Okay, all right, man. We out of here.
Are we done? We got anything else?
No.
Tune into the A-Train show. Right there, that guy.
It's over.
Well, I know, but tune in next week.
Yeah, to hear who won and whatnot. Okay. See y'all later. We're out of here.
We
Bye.
will see you guys.